Right, it is 9:34. 2 hours of riding in the car for fucking 20 minutes of spraying somebody's house. That's the job. Nerds. Oh, yeah, here we go. Come on, my friend. Let's go. I've been listening to all kinds of different sober podcasts, and sometimes I just go back to stuff that I've been through, and I don't even really
Continue on Rampart Boulevard for 2 miles.
I really don't even remember some of the stuff or go damn, that was crazy, But I was in a homeless shelter in Buffalo, and it was a nice homeless shelter. It was on Main Street, Main and Utica. And Utica was a pretty big drug spot. There was a little subway station there and a Burger King where people would just hang out and buy drugs and stuff. And I was getting sober. I don't think I had my neck surgery. I don't even remember, dude. It's been so long. But I just remember some of the people that it was a co-ed thing. The women slept on the one side. I loved, the people, the volunteers that worked there were awesome. I think the night security guard, though, was banging one of the girls, this older black lady. He was a black Marine dude. He was pretty good. It's time to get up. 7 o'clock. Let's get up. I would mimic his voice. He was a good dude, though. I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't recommend doing that, but whatever. I remember this Puerto Rican dude. He had a slash across his face. He had just got out of jail. He did 3 years or something. And he was talking to this one chick there, this one little girl, this one short little chick. And, we all line up outside to get in. And I was talking to her about something. Her brother played football or something, and they played against she said that she'd been to my hometown, which was 45 minutes away, and we were just whatever. And in the morning, we're eating our cereal. Men are by themselves, women are on the whole complete other side of the house. And this dude comes in. He's like, yo, man, stands in front of, we're 15 dudes. We're all eating cereal together. And he stands, across from me. He's like, yo, I don't know what the you doing talking to my girl and shit. Da-da-da-da. Man, this shit ain't no time to be reminiscing about shit. You guys ain't. And I'm looking at him and just eating my cereal. And I just remember going, are you done? And he was like, yeah, man, I just said what I said, all right, can you pass me the Golden Grams or the Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Use the middle lane to turn left onto County Road.
And this one black dude just busted out laughing, and I said, what? He said what he had to say. I said, I mean, if he was serious, he would have came around the fucking table, and it wouldn't have been what, you know what I mean? So I just looked right at him. I said, he ain't gonna do nothing. What are you gonna do? If you were really trying to press somebody, you would have just got up in there. You wouldn't even have pressed me. You would have just attacked me. You know what I mean? And so, kick that shit down the street. That shit ain't gonna work on me. And then he ended up overdosing. He didn't die, but he got shipped out of there. My next roommate was a bisexual dude that was turning tricks, and he ended up dying in the McDonald's bathroom. He had 2 kids. I remember his parents came to pick up his shit. His parents were loaded, and I just remember his dad somebody said, one of the staff members that just happened to be near the office, and he said, I'm here to pick up Josh's stuff. He rang the buzzer. They buzzed to let you in. And the woman's like, I'm sorry about, whatever. And he was like, sorry about what? And, your son. And he said, don't be. He was like, this shit went on for fucking 15 years, too long. If you ask me, it was overdue. And I was like, damn. Whoa. His dad was just fucking over it, I can completely understand now that I'm older.
A quarter mile, turn right onto Midway Boulevard.
There were just all types of characters. One guy was an ex-police officer for the city of Buffalo. he got attacked by this fucking crazy dude who he pulled out a razor knife or whatever, one of those X-Acto knives. Fuck, am I really turning right here?
At the light, turn right onto Midway
I
Boulevard.
gotta make that turn. He ended up attacking the dude. He ended up attacking the police officer and him were arguing about something. It wasn't even that big of an argument, but it turned into, the dude went upstairs, got an X-Acto knife, and Eugene, the police officer, he was like a mixed kind of black dude, but he was a big fuck. I mean, he was like the type of dude that was, I don't know, he was probably about 5'11", 6 foot, but he was a solid 220 pounds. He didn't look like somebody that like worked out, but he looked like somebody that grew up on a fucking farm, you know what I mean? And he was just very kind and goofy and sarcastic and stuff, and I think the dude thought he was gonna have an easy time with him because he was so nice and pleasant even when he was arguing. And I just remember I was sitting there eating, like, I don't know if it was lasagna or something. I remember I was sitting there going, is this dude, like, you could smell the copper, like, in the air, you know what I mean? And I was like, fuck, man, now I'm gonna have to get involved in this shit, and everybody there is watching. And I just remember eating and watching this dude, like, you know, they're fighting, and I mean, they're fucking seriously, this is like a serious, like, hand-to-hand attack, combat. Fucking Eugene's deflecting the best he can, punching him in the face. They're playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and Eugene isn't fucking, man, that, he was a police officer in Buffalo, you know what I mean? He ain't no pussy, you know what I mean? And he's that kind of strong that you don't get from lifting weights or doing jujitsu. He's just the type of dude that, and this dude was a big fat fuck, like he was like 6'3", and probably about 270. And I just remember God saying, go over there, grab him, and pick him up and take him on, put him on the ground or something like that. And I was like, what? I was like, I got a fucking broken neck. I'm not picking that dude up. And God's like, go over there and just grab him and pick him up. And I remember they're fighting, and I'm just literally like, there's blood everywhere. You know what I mean? I remember, like, there's blood on the walls. It looked like the movie Carrie. There's blood everywhere, and it just smelled sickening. And I'm walking towards Eugene. I can see I'm just literally just, the dude, now I'm lined up with him, and he's looking at me, and he's trying to stab him. And, well, I mean, I'm probably like 3 feet from him, and when I got a little bit behind him, I just zoomed in and grabbed him. And I fucking picked him up and tripped him real quick, and I slipped in the blood. And I remember I was like going to get him in like a rear naked choke, or I was gonna just start pounding him. And I just remember God saying, don't do anything, just hold him. And I was like, damn, at that point now, I wanted to just start like lighting his ass up. He just stabbed the fuck out of my friend. Well, they ended up kicking both of them dudes out. This fucking nerdy girl keeps calling me about the rats in her house. I told her, you gotta put the dog food up. You got the dog food wide open. Her house is just a nightmare. So anyways, ended up both getting kicked out. And I had a friend that, there was a guy named Bear. He was a short little built fucking black dude. And his wife, I forget his wife's name, but I ended up being friends with them.
Continue on US 41 North for 6 miles.
I ended up being friends with them.
Continue on Midway Boulevard for half a mile.
I ended up being friends with them for quite a bit of time. They ended up getting back on their feet and getting their shit together. And I'm trying to think who else was around that area that I was talking to. I haven't talked to anybody from there in, obviously probably in 10 years. I wasn't there for COVID, but I don't know. Anyways, the moral of the story is sometimes I just have to go back and think about stuff.